one is just extreme reliability. So do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it, really just every single time. I remember when I first got into business, I thought that was standard, and it really turns out not to be. Even at the highest levels of business, I mean, often find people not showing up on time, not doing what they say they do, not returning emails, promptly on time.
Yeah. I think the very best top tip for employment success is to, first of all, just be on time. And honestly, when we think about being on time, to be on time is to be late. To be ahead of time is to be on time. And to show up late is to almost not even to show up at all. So we really want people to be on time for work. The other thing is just have a positive attitude. I think employers really want people to come in with a good perspective, great insight, and not to say that you got to be happy all day, every day, but you definitely want to come with a positive attitude.
If you'll get to work early and stay a little bit late and take on any projects that might come your way, you're going to be unusual. Most people won't do that.
Being qualified, that's a great one. If you know what you want to do, then find out the skill sets that you need to do that. And look for other things that you can do in order to make yourself stand out as a great employee.
The best answer I get is, I'd like to have your job. I would say the worst thing an employee can say if they're working with me is the words, "That's not my job."
Also, one of the most universal things, regardless of the job that we're in, is being coachable. And it's something that when people give us suggestions or feedback of ways that we can get better, at first we feel challenged by that because it's a very personal thing. And we feel as if people are telling us that we, as a person, we're not good enough. When in fact, hopefully they're telling us ways that we as a person can do things that might make us better, ways that we can grow in our career. And to understand that when people are providing us feedback, it's a gift.
Most of the time, when we hire someone, it's not that they have that specific qualification that we're looking for, but we can tell that they are willing to learn and grow, that they can take instructions, that they are, pleasant to be around, those things. And so when you look at it, it's like, well, is this someone that we can work with? Is this someone who is wanting to grow? Yeah, we can work with that.
One tip that I would suggest is striving to be a positive influence with your peers. I suggest this because you will be viewed as somebody that is able to lead and motivate others and be viewed potentially in a supervisory role at some point.
And maybe the third trait that I would say is really important is that they're able to own their outcomes, good or bad. They're willing to own them. I have a saying at Questec, and that's that I have to fire perfect people. And it's always true, because if I have somebody who's really focused on being perfect, then when they do make mistakes, which everyone does because we're human, they either defend themselves or they blame others, or they limit the amount of work that they do so that all of their work would be perfect. And none of those things lend for a successful person in a position in our company.
The best thing that I think employers are probably going to look for somebody to consider for a promotion is a leader. I mean, they're looking for somebody who's going to be proactive, someone you don't have to hold their hand all the time, and just somebody who's going to take some great initiative. Those things make great leaders.
Get out of the lane that everybody else is in. Everybody says, "That's not my job." Do everything you can, learn everything you can, and develop yourself.
A quality that will lead to promotion is impact. Make sure that you are asking yourself the question of, what can I uniquely bring to my work or place of work that will make a difference? As well as, what's really important to my boss? When you combine those two and when they meet, that's where you know where to focus. That's where you can make your most and greatest impact.
When I first started in banking, I started as a part-time teller, and one of the ways I was able to differentiate myself and stand out was by volunteering for different work groups or task forces that were formed. It helped me learn more about the company and what was important. It introduced me to other people that were able to help me in my career later on. And then I was viewed as a problem solver, which any company likes a problem solver.
When you're talking about promotion, I'm always looking for somebody who, A, does the assignments that they are hired to do, and people who go a little bit further. I always say there's two types of people who say, what's the least I can do? And then there are people who say, what more can I do?
It's not necessarily the person who is doing their current job best who is promoted into a leadership role to lead other people to do that role. It's those who really show leadership qualities and a care for others around them and the company as a whole that find themselves growing in their career and in the companies that they're working in.
Despite whatever your history is and your past experience might have been, there's still something that you've learned from that. And so in learning what it is that you went through in your past, turn it to be a positive for your future. It doesn't matter what that experience is. Either you know what not to do again, or based on what it is that you learned from that experience, you know what to do in the future. So all things from our past can definitely promote us to have a great positive future.
Really, it's just hard work, being committed. I've had several people rise to the top of a particular organization that came in as a temporary.
There's the curse in Genesis where God says, by the sweat of your brow, the earth will yield its fruit. Thorns and thistles it shall yield for you. So I took away from that verse two things. One is to expect difficulty and struggle, because it's just a given in life. But the second is the curse of by the sweat of your brow is also a promise. And that's if I sweat and I just continue to sweat, the earth will yield its fruit to me. And that's the thing I would tell people is no matter what you do, as you work on the thing that you're doing, as you work on your own work ethic, on your own skill, on your own dependability, that's something that will never be taken from you and will always be eventually seen. Whether or not you see it in the short term as fast as you want it to see, but it always does show up.
And really, we got to remember that we're there to serve God. And the best way we can serve God is just being excellent at what we do. And so whether you're checking somebody out at the grocery store line or laying concrete or whatever you're doing, what is the way in which you can do it with excellence to really serve the product or serve the service, serve the people around you?